Good morning. You're welcome to another edition of Import Export Platform, Facebook Live from 3 Timpes Trade Academy. And my name is Dele Ayemibo. We continue our conversation on AFCFTA, the what, the why, the how to export to Nigeria. And today we are looking at episode 56 and we are discussing the market entry. We started the market entry yesterday morning and we've discussed confirming house, we've discussed commission house, we've discussed brokerage, we've discussed overseas traveling staff. We've discussed a couple of options available. Basically saying if you're trying to get an access into a market, like Nigerian market, either as an importer or exporter, you must have your strategy well cut out and be sure exactly how you want to penetrate the market to be able to take advantage of the opportunity in the market. Like I said, when I was analyzing the market, I spoke about the fact that the Nigerian market have huge potential. However, you also need to be mindful of what you're going to sell in Nigeria to be able to tap into the potential. If what you are selling is a basic necessity of life, is a luxury, then you have to be very strategic, the set of people you want to market. But you are looking at doing $1 billion, crossing the $1 billion mark, doing mass market, then of course you must be selling something that is basic necessity of life, like food, like water, or drinks, whatever it is that people have to consume for survival will help you to be able to reach millions of Nigerians. So, but if what you're selling is not a basic necessity of life that each and everyone should buy or purchase on a daily basis, then of course you will still be able to have your market. There's still market for you, only that of course there are limitations because of the fact that the earning power of an average Nigerian is thoroughly consumed by the struggle for survival, otherwise called eating and drinking every day. So the strategy you are deploying, like I said, depends largely on what you are trying to achieve. And today I'm looking at wow. Okay, those that went to pass that place here. Today I'm looking at export management company. Export management company and manufacturer export agent. Export management company and manufacturer export agent. Now, an export management company basically assists an exporter in his country to be able to take on a lot of responsibility from him. EMC, as it's called, manufacturer agent, basically assisting the manufacturer to be able to source for market abroad. Simply defined, export management company is an international specialist company whose function is exclusively export department of several exporters. So it's like I'm a manufacturing company, but I don't want to take on the job of having to look for buyers. I don't want to take on the job of having to look for doing the shipment. I just outsource it to a company that look for the buyer, do the pre-export documentation, do the post-export documentation, literally undo everything that has to be done to move my good to the export destination. When I do that, I'm engaging an export management company. It's an international sales specialist who functions as exclusive export department of several allied but not competing manufacturers. So typically, an export management company ensures that even though they are dealing with many companies, helping them in the shipment of their goods, helping them in sourcing buyers, literally doing the export business for them, like an outsourced export department of a company, they do not sell competing products. So if they are already doing sugar, they're not going to take on sugar from another person. If they're already doing phones, they're not going to take phone from another person. If they're already doing a particular type of, they're not going to take another one from another person. Basically ensuring that, so that, I mean, that's the only way they will be able to actually get customer. If I'm going to engage them and they're going to get commission from me and they're going to be selling my product with other similar product, of course I won't be interested, because then we're competing. That means we don't have access. All the market he has access to has to be shared among those companies, and that's a challenge. So if you are trying to enter into Nigerian market, you can work with export management companies. Engaging export management company in your country who is like an export department that will be able to help you achieve your objective in the export market. That is to say, an export management company may serve 5 sailboat part manufacturer, each making different part of that boat. So even if they are selling part of cars, they are not going to, they won't collect tire from 2 people. They won't collect radiator from 2 people. They won't collect steering wheel from 2 people. They are going to collect a part from a particular supplier. Like I said, the idea basically is to ensure that competing products are not on their plate. Competing products are not on their plate. For individual manufacturers, for individual manufacturer, the AMC is to exporting what sales agent is to domestic marketing. The export management is to exporting company what sales agent is to domestic marketing. So if you think of a domestic marketing, if you think of a manufacturer that have a domestic agent who help to source for the buyer, who help to ensure the contract is signed, who help to ensure that the goods are shipped and delivered, who help to ensure that payments are made as at when due. If you think of a domestic sales agent that way, when you flip it on the export side, you begin to see the way an export management company function. You begin to see the way an export management company function. And it's very important for us to understand how important and vital this is, because one of the things I've advocated for many years is that as a manufacturing company, you should not be interested in always being the one, okay, you will source for raw material. In fact, some people will produce the raw material, also will source for raw material, transport the raw material to the warehouse, use the raw material to produce whatever it is you need to produce, package the finished product, look for buyers, get a truck, move the goods to the final destination. I'm going to ask myself, are you a manufacturer or you are an export management company? The issue is, it doesn't make you efficient. And that's a big challenge for many companies that want to go into international trade. My take on going into international trade is, if you're a manufacturing company looking for export market, if you cannot create an export department to handle that, so that the team in manufacturing focus on manufacturing, the team in export focus on export, then look for export merchant. Look for people who are independent of you, who are already exporting and have buyer abroad, and they can take on your product to sell. When you do that, you create a lot of efficiency in your business process. Why? Because you now have a focus. You now have a focus. And that's a big challenge for a lot of businesses. Because of lack of focus, many of them have not been able to maximize their potential. Because of lack of focus, many of them have not been able to maximize their potential. Why? Because there are too many things on their plate. It's very important that you specialize in your area of strength. You know, economics will teach what they call the division of labor and specialization. They also talk about the economy of scale. And all these are pointing to the fact that if I focus on my core strength, I'm going to be more efficient, I'm going to be more effective, I'm going to produce better results, I'm going to be more profitable. But if I am jack of all trades, it might be tough for me to master any of it. Then I will be doing it, but I won't be efficient. And what's the goal of a business? You want to be profitable. If you're going to be profitable in that business, then you've got to be efficient. Efficiently deploy the resources that you have, the human resources, the financial resources, and every other resources that you have. Being able to efficiently deploy them to get maximum return is the whole idea. So I don't think you should say, okay, you want to be the one to be selling the goods. Why must you be the one to be selling the goods? Why can't someone else take it on? And that's exactly what the export management company has been able to do, has been able to achieve for many organizations. Although EMC is independent intermediary organization, as far as potential overseas buyers are concerned, this firm are the manufacturing firm. Being the export department of several manufacturers, EMC conduct business in the same name of each manufacturer that it represents. Remember, EMC basically act as export department of each firm. Because EMC acts as export department of each firm, so for example, an export management company acting as export department for company ABC to sell products, to sell tiles. Also representing company XYZ to sell carpet. Also representing company MNY to sell WC, the water closet. As they sell each of these products, the bill of lading, the invoice, the packing list, and all the documentation for each shipment is done in the name of each of the company. Is done in the name of each of the company. So, when you are engaging an export management company, you still retain your identity and record that shows that you are the exporter. Only that the activity or the core activity required for that export to take place is being carried out by an external organization, a third party, an outsourced body that is doing that on your behalf. So that's basically what happened. A third party, an external organization is doing that on your behalf. I'm basically saying that if you engage an export management company, you still retain your identity, not just as the manufacturer, but also as the exporter. Because, I mean, in some countries, if you are exporting, you have access to a lot of incentives. You have access to a lot of incentives. You have access to a lot of incentives. And this incentive you have access to enhance, empowers, and enable your business to be able to grow. All correspondence, all contracts are negotiated in the name of the manufacturing company. So just imagine yourself outsourcing your export department. You know, if you're in a company and you have an export department, the export department is owned by the organization, so the department basically is exporting on behalf of the organization. And the export department is an in-house or inbuilt export department. Remember, we are discussing indirect export. For people that want to export into Nigeria, that want to take advantage of the Nigerian market, we are discussing indirect export. When we start discussing direct export, we are not going to be looking at export management company, we are going to be looking at inbuilt, in-house export department. We are going to be looking at inbuilt, in-house export department. That's what we're going to be looking at when we begin to talk about direct export. But now we're discussing indirect export, and we're looking at export management company that literally take on the responsibility of shipping out the goods, of sourcing for buyers, of arranging for shipment, of pre-export documentation, of post-export documentation, of export clearance, and taking all the responsibilities agreed with the buyers in the contract are going to be executed by the export management company. I think this is a very interesting way to enter an export market. You know, for an SME, you really might not be able to have your own inbuilt export department. If you you really might not be able to have your own inbuilt export department. Now, if you are unable to have your own inbuilt export department, the implication of that is that you will have to engage an export management company. So, export management company, I think, is a great blessing to trade in general, especially as it concerns and relates to SMEs, who probably is a small business manufacturing, like in Nigeria, shea butter cream, and this are producing pap, producing beans flour, and this small company have to worry about manufacturing. In Nigeria, you worry about power. In Nigeria, you worry about water. In Nigeria, you worry about logistics. In Nigeria, you worry about funding. In Nigeria, you worry about procurement. Only one small manufacturer. And have you worried about all that? He has to now worry about sourcing for buyer again. That will be grossly inefficient, Israel. That will be grossly inefficient. And I'm saying that that is the blessing that export management company have brought to the table. So if you are thinking of coming to Nigerian market, you might need to engage export management company in your country. However, if you do not have export management company, I've mentioned a couple of other organizations, so many organizations that you can work with, that you can engage, that can help you to be able to achieve your objective in getting buyers and in selling your product in the export market. In getting buyers and selling your product in the export market. The more efficient your organization is in deployment of resources, the more profitable it becomes. Remember, the export market or international trade is fierce and ferocious. Everybody is competing for space. It's a buyer's market. So buyer wants the best price. Buyer wants... Lord have mercy. What's happening? Sorry for the distraction. I've just seen a lot of madness on Lagos Road. Buyer wants the best price because it's buyer's market. So because buyer wants the best price, the challenge that poses for you is that you need to do everything possible to get that best price. You need to do everything possible to get that best price. If you don't get the best price, your product will not be able to be competitive. If your product is not competitive, you will not be able to get the buyers. If you are not able to get the buyers, it becomes difficult for you to be able to sell the product. And like I said, there is huge opportunity, huge business, and huge market in Nigeria that you can take care of or take advantage of. But if you do not find a way of reducing your cost, because generally in Nigeria, the cost of doing business is amazing. The cost of doing business is excruciating. I'm not just going to wait 1 minute. I'm not going to wait 1 minute. The cost of doing business is excruciating. The cost of doing business is killing. And as a result of that, if you do not find a way of reducing your cost, you consign yourself to domestic market. Even though there are huge opportunity in the export market. All correspondence with buyers and contracts negotiated in the name of manufacturer, and all quotation and order are subject to confirmation by manufacturer. So in this arrangement, the agent, the export management company, cannot act on his own behalf. After all, he's not the owner of the product. He is acting on behalf of someone else. He's acting on behalf of someone else, otherwise called the manufacturer. So he cannot just agree on price. He has to take permission. He has to take approval from the owner of the goods, from the manufacturer of the product. And that's why, as much as possible, you must stay in touch with the export management company to be able to ensure that whatever price is agreed is something you are willing to take. I'm not sure I'll be able to take on the other one this morning, and that is the second part. That's the manufacturer broker, because of a lot of other engagement. I'm hoping I'll be able to do this in the evening. I've only done export management today. Remember, what we're still discussing is the export market entry strategy, and we're saying that there are so many strategies, there's so many options that can be deployed by anybody trying to go into export business. So if I'm in South Africa, if I'm in Rwanda, if I'm in Ethiopia, if I'm in Malawi, and I'm trying to get access to the Nigerian market, if I can just find the export management company in my country, it might become a lot easier for me to have access to the export market, if I'm able to find out. However, if I am unable to find out, then of course it becomes also very, very difficult for me to be able to get buyer. However, like I said, you can also explore so many other options that we have spoken about. And these many other options we have spoken about are basically geared towards empowering individuals. Empowering individuals. God have mercy.